Good morning everyone, my name is Aisha Talib and I'm from A to B. And today I'll be talking about two-way frequency tables. And I'm from Dubai National School. Two-way frequency tables are a visual representation of the possible relationships between two sets of categorical data. The categories are labeled at the top and the left side of the table. So categorical data means which cannot be expressed through using numbers, such as colors. Colors cannot be expressed through using numbers. And the opposite of categorical data is quantitative data. Quantitative data can be expressed through using numbers, such as temperature, height, length, and even width. So there are other two more types that you can see in the picture that are marginal frequency and joint frequency. Marginal frequency in the color orange is always like, if you think of it as a box, marginal frequency is always like outside the box or in the corner. It's always in the total or the row of totals. And joint frequency, which is the blue color, is always inside the box and not in the total or row columns. Now let's move on with an example. A survey asked if you could have a new vehicle. Would you want a sport utility vehicle or a sports car? So this picture shows how to use or even solve two-way frequency tables. So if we want to find here how many males could have a CUV and a sports car, you would add 21, which is the total of how many males could have a CUV, and 39 of how many males could have a sports car, which will lead us to 60. And if you want to find how many males and female could have a sports car, you add 39 by 45, which will lead you to 84. Now let's answer some questions. How many people respond to the survey? 240. Why? Because the question wasn't specific. It didn't say if it was a female or a male, and it didn't say if it was a sports car or CUV. So it's 240. And how many males respond to the survey? 60. Because here it says how many males respond to the survey, but it didn't say if it was a CUV or sports car. And the third question is how many people chose a CUV. Here it didn't say if it was a female or male, it just said that how many people chose a CUV. So it's 156. And the last two questions are easy, which is how many females chose a sports car, it's 45, and how many males chose a CUV, which is 21. And now let's move on with some practice. Now let's start our practice. So first we need to find how many boys are right-handed. So that's easy. We need to subtract the total of how many boys that are right-handed and left-handed by the total of the boys that are left-handed. So we will do 35 minus 17, which will give us 18. So how do we know if 18 is really our correct answer? We add 17 by 18, which will actually give us 35, which means our answer is correct. And now to find how many boys and girls are right-handed, we need to add 23 by 18, which will give us 41. And how do we check our answer is correct? We add 29 by 41, which will give us also 70, which means our answer is also correct. And now for the last part, we need to subtract the total of how many boys and girls are left-handed by how many boys that are left-handed. So 29 minus 17 gives us 12. And to check our answer, but before we check our answer, we need to find the answer to check our answer. So 23 plus 12 gives us 35. And 35 plus 35 is 70. So our two-way frequency table is correct. And now let's move on to some more practices. Now let's start our practice. A high school extracurricular committee surveyed a randomly selected group of students about whether they like tennis and soccer. So let's complete the table. First, we need to add 37 by 27, which will give us the total. So 37 plus 27 gives us 57. And 16 plus 15 gives us 31. So the thing that you do is add horizontally and vertically, which is way easier than the previous two-way frequency table. And 57 plus 31 gives us 88. And 20 plus 15 gives us 35. And 37 plus 16 gives us 53. So our table is complete. Now let's solve this second table. After a school field trip, Ben surveyed some students about which animal they liked from the zoo. Complete the table. So this table is the same as the previous table, but it has one extra number, which is 3 numbers. So we need to add 9 by 15 and 14. So if you add 9 plus 15 plus 14, you will get 38. And if you add 4 by 17 and 15, you get 36. And if you add them together, you will get 74. Okay? And 9 plus 4 is 13. Wait, 13. And 17 plus 15 gives you 32. And 14 plus 15 gives you 29. And to check our answer, we add 38 by 36, which gives us 74, which is correct. And if you add 13 plus 32 plus 29, you also get 74. So our total answer is correct. And thank you for listening. I hope you understood.